Think a small car can't surprise you anymore? Think again. The brand new Renault Clio just landed, and it's packing features you'd normally expect in cars twice the price. A sharper design, smarter tech, and some bold changes that might just shake up this entire class. But is it really the upgrade fans have been waiting for? Or just clever marketing in a shiny new shell? Stick around, because by the end of this review, you'll know if this is the small car worth your money. The car we're looking at today is the all-new Renault Clio, a name that's been a staple in Renault's lineup for decades. Known for being practical, affordable, and easy to live with, this model has built a reputation as the go-to choice for drivers who want city-friendly size without giving up everyday usability. But this new generation isn't just a mild update, it's a statement. With fresh styling, upgraded tech, and a clear push to stand out in an increasingly crowded market, Renault is betting big on this launch. So, what exactly makes this version different? And is it enough to keep the Clio ahead of its rivals? Now let's dig into what makes this new Renault Clio more than just a facelift. The first thing you notice is the design. Renault has gone for a sharper, bolder look that immediately gives this small car more presence on the road. The front end is sleeker, with slimmer headlights that stretch into the grille, while the rear has a cleaner, more sculpted finish. It's not radical, but it's fresh enough to make the old version feel instantly dated. And in a class where style matters just as much as practicality, this could be a big win. Step inside, and the upgrades become even more obvious. Gone are the cheap plastics and dated dials. In their place, you'll find a digital instrument cluster, a larger touchscreen angled toward the driver, and a cabin that feels genuinely upmarket for this price range. Soft touch materials on the dash, ambient lighting, and more supportive seats mean this isn't just a car to get you from A to B. It's a space you'll actually enjoy spending time in. But is it enough to stand out against rivals like the competitor model? Hold that thought, because we'll get there soon. Now, tech is where this car really tries to shine. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto come as standard. There's a wireless charging pad, and driver assist features like lane keep assist and adaptive cruise control are available on higher trims. For a car in this price bracket, that's impressive. Imagine cruising to work with your playlist streaming seamlessly, your phone charging in the console, and the car subtly helping you stay centered in your lane. It's the kind of convenience that makes everyday driving noticeably less stressful. Under the hood, the Renault Clio comes with a range of engines depending on the trim, starting with efficient 3-cylinder options and topping out with a mild hybrid that promises better fuel economy without sacrificing everyday performance. Around town, it feels agile, with light steering that makes tight turns and parking a breeze. On the highway, it's quieter than you'd expect, though push it hard and you'll notice the smaller engines can run out of breath. Still, for most drivers, the balance between efficiency and usable power is spot on. And the suspension? Tuned for comfort, but with just enough firmness to stop it feeling floaty. In other words, it's aiming to be the best of both worlds. But does it succeed? We'll get to that in the test drive section. And here's where things get really interesting. The moment when spec sheets meet the real world. Taking the Renault Clio out on the road. The first surprise is how composed it feels. Around tight city corners, the steering is light and precise, making it feel smaller than it is. But push it onto the open highway, and the refinement jumps out. Road noise is hushed. The suspension soaks up bumps better than expected, and you get this sense of polish that almost doesn't belong in a car at this price. Now, compare that to the competitor model. On paper, it should have the upper hand with slightly more power and a sportier image. But in practice, it's a different story. Yes, it feels a bit quicker off the line, but the cabin gets noisier at speed, and the ride is less forgiving over rough patches. For everyday driving, the supposedly less exciting Renault Clio actually feels more balanced. And that's not something we thought we'd be saying at the start of this review. And then comes the biggest twist, fuel economy. In our mixed driving loop, the Renault Clio returned numbers that were not just better than expected. They outperformed the competitor model by a clear margin. For buyers in this segment, that's a huge deal. Imagine saving real money every time you fill up without giving up comfort or tech. Of course, no car is perfect. The rear seats are still a little tight for taller passengers, and the trunk space, while usable, isn't class-leading. Some of the most advanced tech is locked behind higher trims, which means paying extra if you want the full package. That raises an important question. Is a Renault Clio still the value-for-money champion it used to be, or is Renault nudging it into more premium territory? But it's not all perfect. Push the Renault Clio hard, and the engine still runs out of steam sooner than you'd like. It's not the hot hatch some might hope for. Still, considering the price, features, and how well it nails the daily driving experience, the real surprise here is just how complete this package feels. So, has Renault quietly built the new benchmark in this class? Or is there one final catch you need to know about? Let's get to the verdict. So, after spending time with the new Renault Clio, it's clear this isn't just a routine update. It's a serious step forward. The design feels sharper and more modern. The interior finally delivers on quality, and the tech upgrades bring it right in line with what buyers expect in 2025. On the road, it strikes a sweet balance. Agile enough for city driving, refined enough for longer trips, and efficient enough to keep fuel stops rare. For most drivers, that's exactly what a small car should deliver. But it isn't flawless. Rear seat space still lags behind some rivals, and if you want the full suite of safety and tech features, you'll need to climb higher up the trim ladder, which pushes the price closer to bigger, more versatile options. And if you're someone who values raw speed or excitement, you may walk away wishing for more power. So who's it really for? The Renault Clio is a near-perfect fit for buyers who want style, comfort, and tech in a compact package without overspending. The competitor model, meanwhile, still makes sense if you prioritize performance and don't mind trading a little refinement for punchier driving dynamics. In the bigger picture, this launch shows just how much pressure is on small cars to stay relevant in an SUV-dominated U.S. market. By loading the Renault Clio with features once reserved for higher segments, Renault is sending a message. Small cars can still feel premium, practical, and forward-thinking. If competitors don't keep up, we might just see a shift in how Americans think about compact hatchbacks again. So here's the question. Has Renault set the new benchmark for small cars, or do you think another model still holds the crown? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this review, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more in-depth car reviews, and share this with anyone considering their next ride. The conversation doesn't end here. I want to hear what you think.